Okay, so recently this day I made a speed run where I played Cetera 193 United Member States, and it was in Japanese, and I don't know Japanese. So basically, what I did it by looking at the flags. And so today I'm here to show you how to differentiate very similar flags in Cetera. There are a lot of countries who have very similar flags, and I just want to say that if you actually want to learn, just play the game. It's very easy. I just doing this because I thought it would be a funny idea, and I would like feel like I'm a teacher because explaining things are cool. So I did this power plant slide very bad. Like it's terrible. Everything is gonna be terrible. But I think it would be a funny idea. So if you may actually learn something if you stick around. But if you actually just want to learn the flags, there are a lot of flags. It's very hard. But let's start. And just a fun fact: Afghanistan doesn't have a flag. So in the middle of the run, the flag would just vanish. And of course, I don't know how Afghanistan is in Japanese. So I just click Afghanistan when there isn't any flag. Okay, so okay, this one is pretty easy. Belgium and Germany. A lot of people actually know this one. Like that they're similar and they are basically like horizontal and vertical. Not really a big deal. They are the same color and you see them a lot. So this helps a lot. Like the flags that you see in your everyday life in your routine that of famous countries, it really helps, you know. So yeah, this one's pretty easy. I just added because they're similar. Okay, so you might not see these ones as often. They are IT and Liechtenstein or something like that. They both have like a blue and red background. So like you just gotta learn that Liechtenstein has a crowd and IT has this little drawing in the middle. So yeah, and they like in my opinion they're both very beautiful, very pretty flags. Like I really like this background. Okay. So, oh fuck. It starts here like kind of bad already. A lot of like white and red at the same time. So, yeah, like Lebanon is very easy because there's a very ugly tree in it, okay? I'm sorry if anyone here is from Lebanon, but this tree actually sucks. Although I kind of like it, but like it's very easy actually. If you just see a tree, it's Lebanon. No other country has a tree like that. And these other flags are a bit more difficult. Peru is a bit easier to locate because it's like vertical, right? So it's the only vertical, but these ones you may get a bit in trouble because they're both like true red lines and a white line in the middle. So what you can see here is that the the this is Latvia and this is Austria, okay? So like in Latvia the white stripe is much thinner than in Austria, and also the red is much darker. So this helps a lot. So basically, like dimensions of flags, because not all the flags have the same dimensions, right? This also helps a lot to differentiate because Latvia is a bit like thicker than Austria, and also it's darker. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So it starts to get a little bit confusing. Uh, Bulgaria and Hungary, they have the same colors. This is Bulgari. Bulgari is a bit lighter, okay? So yeah, and Hungary is a bit darker. But I put in here specifically because when I do this type of runs, I mess them a lot because they're very similar to each other, like in the map. So yeah, it sucks. But yeah, they kind of easy to differentiate as well. Oh my God. Western Africa. So there is a big problem here because they are all very similar and they are all in here. Like Western Africa, there are a lot of like tiny countries very similar to each other. So the thing that I like to do is remembering the stars. There are the black stars. They are the hardest because there are a lot of black stars. So like the this is Guinea-Bissau. It's the one with a single black star. But Ghana also has a single black star. So you gotta see like the pattern. It's kind of different, and they're all like yellow, red, and green. That also fucks a lot because, man, it's just so confusing. At the first time you get it, it's so confusing. But eventually you get it. Like with practice, you get it. But like, and some that's São Tomé and Príncipe. It has like two black stars. I always remember because like it has a lot of stars and they are two black stars. So yeah, I actually I don't even know if São Tomé and Príncipe is in Western Africa because I can't see it here. But whatever, it's very close. Oh, and then we have Senegal. That's Senegal. It has a single green star. It's the only thing. It's the only one that has a single green star. So it's a lot of stars and it's a lot of colors. It's very hard to actually remember all of them. But Senegal has a green star, and that's Cameroon. I think that's Cameroon. I'm pretty sure it's Cameroon, and it has a yellow star. So you see, like the colors are very similar, and they are all like very close to each other in the map. And this actually like makes it much harder because when like there are two countries that have similar colors and shit like Guatemala and San Marino. They are similar, but for some reason it's easy for me at least to differentiate them because San Marino is in Europe and like Guatemala is in Central America. But here they are all very close to each other, so it's hard to differentiate it in your brain, you know. And then we have Mali, that is this big country here, and Guinea. They are also very close. They just like change, but a thing that helps a lot is that Mali is very light. Like this green is very light. Like there ain't no other country that has such a light green, I think. So when I see a very light green, I know it's Mali like this. And otherwise it's just Guinea. So yeah, this is very hard, man. Western Africa is very hard for everything, like capitals, countries, and flags, because it's a lot of tiny countries together here. And then we have, well, that's a funny one because I get them wrong a lot of times. Uh, Although, like, the colors are uh, m not the same, because here's orange, white, and green. This is Ivory Coast, and this is Ireland. Green, white, and orange. Actually, I don't use the green and orange placements to differentiate them. I use the dimension because in Cetera, dimension always shows. So when it's like thicker like this, it's Ireland. So I just know if I see this and it's very thick, it's Ireland, and if it's a bit like normal, it's just Ivory Coast. It which is also in Western Africa, by the way. So yeah, like you gotta see the dimensions. The dimensions really help, especially in Monaco and Indonesia. It would be literally impossible to differentiate them if it wasn't for dimensions. So always, always pay attention to dimensions. That's pretty cool. And if it's thicker, it's Ireland, and if it's like square shaped, it's Ivory Coast. Okay. So this may not look too familiar. They are all in South America, very close to me, by the way. But I also get them like wrong a bit, like with a lot of frequency actually. This is Colombia, this is Ecuador, and this is Bolivia. So that's the thing they said. Like when the country has similar flags and they are very close in the map, it's harder to remember. So it's very cool to practice those because they're very close in the map. So like Bolivia is a bit different than Colombia and Ecuador, but like Colombia and Ecuador are literally uh, next to each other, and the only thing that differentiates then it's the drawing. So just remember like, and also like Colombia has this really big yellow stripe. Ecuador also has, but like if you just look this, it's Colombia, and if there's a drawing, it's Ecuador, and it's kind of the same, but it isn't. It also reminds of Africa. Like a lot of countries has this type of colors. So yeah, man, it's a mess to learn all of them. All the 193. But like these are the most similar, at least that I could remember. There are probably ones that I didn't remember to put here. But yeah. So let's continue. Oh, that's a funny one. I think everyone knows the United States flag because it's everywhere. But like when you're playing first, you may see the Liberia flag and instantly click the United States flag because like you probably never saw this flag before. It's also in the Western Africa. It's right here. So yeah, it was a colony of the USA, so that's why the flag are very similar. Just like the UK has a lot of its own flag on other countries like Tuvalu and Fiji that will actually show a bit further. So yeah, the flags are very close. So if you see this, don't immediately click USA. It's not USA, it's Liberia. So yeah, but they also have like these red and white stripes with a star in the back in the blue background. So it may be a bit confusing, but yeah, it's easy. Oh man. So this is very hard as well because they are not only similar, but they are very close in the map. Despite San Marino, I just put San Marino here because like the colors are very the same, but it's actually very easy to differentiate San Marino because San Marino is very square shaped. Like it's not like the other flags. Like flags are usually like larger in the size. It's literally a square San Marino, and it's also in Europe. Like all these three are in Central America, so they are actually harder to differentiate. So this is San Marino. If you see this, it's San Marino right in Italy, very close to Vatican as well. Okay, so how do you differentiate all of this? This is Nicaragua, this is El Salvador, and this is Guatemala. You can actually read the name in the flag, but you won't read the name in the flag when it's too tiny, like it is in Cetera or anywhere in the world, right? You're just being able to see here because it's a computer. So they basically both have like Illuminati things in them, and Guatemala don't. So that's how we differentiate then from Guatemala. Yeah, even though like, and also Guatemala is or a vertical, right? So yeah, they don't have. But they like the only thing I differentiate from them is the blue. The blue is a bit darker in El Salvador, so that's what I see. Like if it's Illuminati and it's a dark blue, so it's El Salvador, and if it's a light blue and Illuminati, it's Nicaragua. Okay, and also like they are like you just mess them a lot. Like seeing them here might be easy to differentiate, but when all the 193 are combined, sometimes you just mess it up. So it's really just practice. I'm just doing this for fun because I want to show like similar flags. But if you actually want to learn, then just play the game. Oh my god, these ones I had a lot of trouble in my runs. You just get them wrong a lot until you actually learn them. So most of them has this like three stripes, and like South Sudan is the most different one, but it's still kind of the same, so that's why I put it here. So it's basically like three stripes, and usually it's uh, red, white, and green, or black, white, and green, right? Wait, there's one missing. Oh, it's here. Fuck. Okay, sorry. So yeah, nah, they all mess with each other. Okay, so they're all combined in here somewhat, but like they have these things in here, like these triangles, and it's very hard. So like it's easier with this one that doesn't have a triangle. It's just a red square. Like this is so ugly, man. This is EUI. I don't know how to say in English. I think it's like United Emirates States, Emirados Árabes Unidos in Portuguese, but like, wait, how do you call it in English? It's Emirate, Emirate, Emirados Árabes Unidos, United Emirate Arab. I have no fucking clue, but like, it's that country that it's Dubai. Yeah, Dubai is here. Yeah, Dubai is here. Okay, so if there is a white star in the triangle, it's Jordan. This is Jordan, okay? One of the seven wonders of the world is there. It's Jordan. If the triangle is like cut like this, it's Kuwait. It's like Kuwait. It's the only flag that has this trapezian shit. And then we have Sudan and South Sudan. South Sudan is very easy. It's like blue, and Sudan, it's a green triangle, right? But they are all like triangles. It's overall kind of hard. And there we go. These flags, they kind of conflict with each other, but like these flags, they are all three stripes: red, white, black. So If you see red, white, black with nothing, just red, white, black like this, it's Yemen, right? The biggest humanitarian crisis is happening in Yemen. A lot of people don't know about it. That sucks. Yeah, so red, white, black, and nothing, it's just Yemen. If you see two stars, it's Syria. Two stars with black, white, and red, it's Syria. And if you see like this eagle, very pretty eagle, it's Egypt. And if you see this that says Allah Akbar, like actually, it's Iraq. And if you don't know, like Allah Akbar is just like something like pray to God. It doesn't mean anything that we usually understand, like when people say before exploding. It's nothing about it. It's just pray to Lord or something like that. So if you read an Arabic text in Iraq flag, it's Iraq. If there's nothing, it's Yemen. If there are two green stars, it's Syria, and if it's an eagle, it's Egypt. Oh, these ones are not really the same. They're not really close, but I messed them up a lot, so I just put in here, which is Seychelles and uh, Republic of Congo. Not the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's actually two different countries. Okay. Uh, Actually, DRK, DRP, DR, yeah, DRK. It's not even in here because it's a very unique flag, so I didn't put it in here. But Seychelles and the Republic of Congo, it's they're kind of the same, okay? And Seychelles is just a beautiful flag. It's an island right in Africa. Fuck, I actually hate Europe. Okay, so they are all very close to each other. All these countries, they are very close to each other. And not only that, but Slovakia and Slovenia. I think it's Slovakia and Slovenia. Have the same name and they are so close and they are so equal in flag. I hate everything about this. So yeah, and they are also very tiny countries right in Europe. Man, it sucks so much to learn them. So yeah, a lot of blue, red, and white, right? So if you see this shield in the middle with like this chess board of white and red, it's Croatia. Croatia that borders Bosnia and Herzegovina, which has a very unique flag, by the way. So yeah, that's basically Croatia. Very ugly flag. I hate all of these flags. This is just Netherlands. It's not really like the same because it has nothing on it. So if you just see red, white, and blue, it's Netherlands without any drawing. If you see this shield with eagles, it's Serbia with a crown. So yeah, and damn, these two are very hard. That's Slovakia and that's Slovenia. Slovenia is a bit uh to the south of Slovakia. So yeah, Slovenia is closer to the meridian. Yeah, it's closer to the center of the world. I forgot the line. I forgot that fucking line. But yeah, and the shield is very small in Slovenia, and it's also a smaller country. And Slovakia is a bit bigger, and it has a bigger shield. So yeah, so basically, you just gotta practice all then. It's Croatia, Serbia, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Netherlands. They suck. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it looks like a joke, but yeah, these are two different these are two different countries. Shout out to Nightmare, by the way, who lives in Romania. So yeah, these are all blue, yellow, and red stripes, but these two have two different drawings, so it's kind of easier to differentiate the two. This is Montenegro, Montenegro or Moldavia? No, that's Moldavia. Yeah, that's Moldavia. This is Moldavia. It has an eagle on it. It's very easy to differentiate from the other ones because it has its own drawing. And this is Andorra. It has like this thing in the middle. I don't really know what that is. So yeah, this is Moldavia, Moldova. This is Andorra. And how do you differentiate Shad and Romania? Well, the blue in Shad, which is this one, is a bit darker than the blue in Romania. I don't know why they decided to make the flags like this. It really kills a lot of runs. But every time you get this flag, just pause for a second and see the blue. Is it dark or is it light? If it's a bit lighter, it's Romania. If it's a bit darker, it's Chad. Okay, and you gotta really remember how the blue is because when you just get it in the Cetera, you gotta have that feeling of what they are because you may not be able to say if it's dark or light if you can't compare them. Here it's a bit easy because you can compare them, but in the middle of the run you won't be able to compare them. So just stare at these flags for like an hour and just remember that Romania is a bit lighter and Chad is a bit darker. And then we have the Nordic countries. They suck as well. They all have this cross thing. Like at least they have different colors, so that makes it much easier. But they're all very close to each other, and they all have the same flag. Man, it sucks. But like they all have this cross, and at least they're kind of different, right? So wait, yeah, there is one missing. Where is Norway? I just realized. Wait, is Norway actually missing? Yeah, Norway is missing. Okay. So imagine Norway. Norway is very similar. Just search up Norway, okay? I'm not putting it here. So search up Norway is also very similar. Then you have Sweden, that is yellow and blue. Finland, that is white and blue. And then we have Iceland, that at least has this different thing. It's like two two colors in the cross. It's a bit easier to differentiate. And then we have Denmark, which is just white and red. So yeah, Iceland it's the easiest one. I think Norway also has this. So yeah, you just gotta compare them and remember them. And they are also very close in the map, so it kind of sucks to differentiate them. And then this sucks so fucking much. They are all they both. This is Bahrain and Qatar. They're both very tiny islands, no, not islands, countries like to the right of Saudi Arabia. They're very tiny and they are literally next to each other and they have the same flag. The same flag. So this is Bahrain and this is Qatar. Qatar, honestly, I think Qatar's flag is very ugly and Bahrain is pretty. So how it differentiates then, although they are like literally the same, is that Qatar flag is has a darker red and it's also wider. So yeah, Qatar flag Qatar flag is very thick like this, and Bahrain flag is more like square shaped. So yeah, Bahrain flag is tinier and it's lighter, and Qatar flag is darker and thicker. So that's how we differentiate them. And Bahrain is uh, more to the north than Qatar. Qatar is more to the south, where the World Cup happens. Although they're like very close to each other, it's nice to remember that the Bahrain is in the middle between Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. So yeah, that's the order because it's just three dots right next to the Saudi Arabia. So it's kind of red. It's kind of bad to remember then. But and they all have very similar flags. So this is Bahrain, this is Qatar, and this is Kuwait. So yeah, just remember then they are all very tiny. Oh my goodness. They also suck so much. Like I think this is the most run killer. They are literally the same. It also looks like a joke just like Romanian Shed, but what sucks is that they don't even have different shades of colors. Like have the same red and the same white. Okay? So this is Monaco, this is Indonesia, this is Poland, this is Singapore, and this is Malta. So Malta, I just put it here because it's also white and red, but it's kind of easy because it's like vertical, right? It's not horizontal like the other ones. Singapore is very easy also because it has this very beautiful moon in here. I really like this flag. So it differentiate it from the other ones. And Poland has the red beneath the white. So this is also not easy, but you can at least remember it. And Monaco and Indonesia are literally the same. Like they are literally the same, but Monaco is more square shaped. So the dimension here saves a lot. Like if they were to have the same dimension, it would be literally impossible to differentiate them. But at least Monaco is more square shaped and Indonesia is thicker. So you can use that to remember. Like every time you see this shit and it's square shaped, it's Monaco. And if it's a bit wider, it's Indonesia. If red is beneath, it's Poland. If there's a moon, it's Singapore. And if it's vertical, it's Malta. Okay? Okay, and then we have Turkey and Tunisia. They're also very close in the map, but they're kind of different. I don't know why I put them here, but they're both like red with a white moon, so I guess they're close and they have a star. Yeah, they're kind of close. So just remember, this is Tunisia, this is Turkey. Don't mess them, and they are very close in the map as well. These are they're the same flag, but they have different colors. And a lot of people hate on these flags, but I think they're kind of pretty, man. I know there's also Japan, but like everyone knows Japan, everyone sees Japan every time, so everyone knows Japan. So this is Bangladesh and this is Palau, a little island in the Oceania. By the way, shout out to Oceania because they have the most beautiful flags in the world. Um, Despite these two that I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, so basically, don't change the colors and that's it. But they are literally the same, so that's kind of funny. And they're not like Japan because Japan, the circle is in the middle. It's very boring. I know it's just in the middle. They actually moved the circle a little bit to the side, a little bit to the left, which makes it like so funny, honestly. I really like it. Okay, so here we have Niger and India. It's actually very easy to differentiate them because not only do they have different dimensions, like Niger is very square shaped, like it's literally a square, and India it's like just a normal flag. Also, the green is much lighter, and they have different balls in the middle. Like India has this thing, and Niger has this thing, so it's very easy to differentiate them. But they're kind of the same, so I just put them in here. Now we have Australia and New Zealand. That I actually messed it up a lot because I just don't pay attention. Like Australia has these white stars and it has a very big white star beneath the UK flag. The New Zealand doesn't have this star beneath the UK flag and it has red stars. So just remember, white stars are Australia and red stars are New Zealand. And they're also very close in the map. You just confuse them a lot, honestly. And dude, why the fuck do they put UK flag in other flags? It's just so ugly, honestly. And talking about that, here we have more. That's that's Tuvalu and that's Fiji. They are literally the same, but Fiji has this shield and Tuvalu has these yellow stars. But they both have the UK flag. It's like so fucking ugly. Please don't do that if you're a country. I don't advise that. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So these are all the flags. They're very close to each other. There are probably more flags that I forgot. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that. You're probably not going to remember anything I say. I just did this for fun. If you actually want to learn it, just play the game. Nobody's probably watching this video as well. So yeah, I just wanted to feel like a teacher and teach something that I actually like, that is just remembering a lot of random geography things. There are a lot of flags that are the same. So if you watched it by any means, thanks a lot and goodbye, I guess.